Mayor, we live.
Great, thank you. So today is September 17th, 2021. The time is 5:44 p.m. and I am calling to order the Baldwin Park City Council virtual special meeting. City Clerk, can I get a roll call?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Mayor Emanuel Estrada,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Alejandra Avila, Councilmember Daniel Damian,
Here.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Here.
and Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
And at this moment, I'll make a motion to excuse Councilmember Hernandez. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any objections? If not, thank you for that, City Clerk. At this point, I believe we move on to public communications. Is there anybody looking to speak, City Clerk?
No, Mayor, no callers.
All right, since there is no one looking to speak at this moment, we will move away from public communications, close public communications, and I believe we have reports from officers, and that is an approval of general fund money to the Be Proud program escrow account. And is there any staff member who's going to take the lead on this?
You're muted.
Thank you. Let me start, Mayor. First of all, thank you to all of the council members and to you, Mayor, for accommodating this urgent request from us, staff, from the meeting on June 16th, with regards to City Council meeting on June 16th, when the Be Proud program had come to your council. You instructed staff to expeditiously begin a reevaluation study that would look at the merits by which the Be Proud program was formed and approved in the first place. And we began quickly in earnest, and that feasibility, I should say, that evaluation report will be presented to the City Council on October 6th. That's at your next council meeting. Meantime, we, as we had been monitoring the actual drawdown on the escrow account, starting with the approval by council of a transfer of funds from the general fund to the escrow account of $775,000 to cover what has become a structural deficit between revenues and expenses. And we had every hope of being able to make it to the October 6th meeting, where more broader context will be presented on decisions and the way that the complexity and the volatility of the energy markets has been, which is one of the main reasons for why the reevaluation report, and that very notion is going to provide quite a bit of context on the October 6th meeting. But the volatility and the unpredictability of estimates forced CalChoice to come to us just a couple of days ago, if not yesterday morning, and Rose will tell us more when CalChoice reached out to us to urge that we make another transfer to the escrow account and not risk being able to purchase power for what remains of the month of September. We're halfway in the month of September, so we have some actual cost for the first 2 weeks of it, and the forecast for the remainder of the month, which include obviously purchasing power depending on the fluctuation of demand. And the way that power agreements work is that we have a coverage for a baseline of say 95%, and then the rest is done according to the fluctuations of the power demand. So they are asking that we transfer 500,000 by Monday, late Monday or first thing Tuesday morning, which then is the reason for us asking you to convene on an urgent basis. The mayor was very accommodating, as have the rest of you. So our request is that you approve us transferring 500,000 up to 550,000 from the general fund to the Be Proud escrow account to cover the month of September. And when we come to council on October 6th, there will be much broader context and a look ahead as well as a look forward, recommendations and a number of other findings with regards to Be Proud. But that will not be until October 6th. We plan to have briefings with you next week and into the following week, early end of the following week, on what essentially is going to be a heavy subject, as I call it, heavy because it's got several recommendations, a number of moving parts, but that will not be until next week, and then not until the meeting of October 6th. Rose, please.
Yes. Based on the available money in the escrow account, is urgent for the city to send the $500 there to punish the shortfall. And if we don't do that, then it will cause default, which is not good for the city. That's why we need this meeting to get input and direction from the city council.
Great. Well, thank you, Rose, and thank you, Enrique. Obviously it's an emergency basis, and we kind of stuck here. We don't want to put the city in a potential financial liability situation. So I think that we are, we have to approve this, and I think that on October 6th we really need to start making final decisions on how we move forward with Be Proud. I think. I don't think for today, we don't have a choice, but I think on October 6th, we should be getting all the details. We should get all the briefings by then. And then October 6th, we should start deciding what we're going to do ultimately with this program. From my understanding, when this was passed several years ago, it was supposed to be a benefit to the city and to the community, and it doesn't seem to be working out this way. So
yes,
Mayor?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for calling the meeting. I agree, it's of urgency. It's unfortunate that we are in this situation for decisions that were made in the past, and decisions were made because I believe as a council person, we were misleaded. We were given bad information. And I know Enrique is looking into all this because I do have spreadsheets stating that we would be making money, not paying out $775,000 and now another $500,000. So it's very unfortunate that that this was not checked thoroughly at the time. We trust staff that when we're looking at any type of contracts, that they are being diligent in the information that is given to us, so that we can make decisions. But I honestly feel that we were not given the correct information. We were led to believe that year one, we would not come up short money. If anything, we would have some surplus, and then on through the years, we would be making money. Again, it's very unfortunate, but we do have to make this decision to transfer this money because we don't want to be in default. We want to do everything possible to protect the city and make the best decisions for us now that we are clear and we have more information on the way this program is really working, which is not beneficial to us. Thank you.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, Mayor, sorry, Councilmember Damian.
Thank you. Yeah, and I have a Rose. Do you know how much money since the initiation of the Be Proud program? Do you know how much money we've had to transfer? Now, this is not coming from the actual general fund budget, but from the reserves, correct?
yes.
And do you know how much money we've had to loan or pay out of our general fund to the Be Proud program just to keep it floating up to date?
As city manager mentioned, so far we have sent $700,000 to the escrow account, and with the 500 we are going to send, it will be total of 1.2 million, 1.25 million.
And that's all that we've paid out since the initial of the program, correct?
No, actually, at the beginning, we use some money to start up the business also, about $200,000.
200, okay. Okay.
Rose,
And then
wasn't
we're
that
gonna have-
775,000? I'm sorry to interrupt. The first payment?
Yes,
Pardon me for interrupting. Am I the only one having problems hearing? Maybe it's my phone.
It might be
Okay,
your phone.
must be.
Yeah, because we can hear you good, Enrique.
You know, I'm gonna log in again. I'm not hearing the audio, okay?
You should
Okay.
try to
I'll
try to
log out
dial
from-
in.
I'm gonna log out very briefly.
Okay.
So just to be clear, Rose, it was 775,000 the first time, and then this second time is the 500,000, but to start off, it was 200,000, correct?
yes.
So we're
To
in
start
about,
up, when we at the beginning, when we set up this Be Proud, we start up about, we use about 200 some thousand dollars.
Can you get us that exact amount for the next meeting, please? Because you said about.
Yes, I will.
perfect. Okay,
Rose.
thank you, Rose.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Garcia.
thank you. So Rose, and I know Enrique is off for a second until he rejoins, but I do.
I'm here.
Okay, Councilmember Hernandez is here now. So I do look forward to the full presentation as mentioned by Enrique on October 6th. I think that we'll be able to look at everything thoroughly because if we look back to the conversation that we had back in June, I think what we agreed was what was sold to us is not what is, actually being delivered to the city. And so I look forward to that, thorough briefing, more comprehensive briefing. And I understood that today we were going to be taking just action on something very, urgent. And from what was presented, I support that. I think, Rose, your proposal is also so that we can recover those funds back into the general fund at some point in the near future. So I also agree with the comments made by Mayor Pro Tem Avila, and where we are now, and it's a very different program than what was pitched originally. I clearly remember the proponents of this program, stating that we would be able to gain surplus and recycle that back into our community. And now here we are expending, significant amount just to keep things afloat. So I just look forward to the fuller briefing on October 6th. And, I know that a lot of our questions will be answered at that time. So thank you, Rose, and thank you for Enrique for working on that.
Yes.
Great, thank you. And then, and I would want to know also at that presentation, what this money could be used for, because I think when I came on board and I spoke to Shannon about it, he said that the funds that came from Be Proud would be very, very limited into how we could actually use those funds. So they wouldn't be a free for all. They would be very Be Proud oriented in terms of potential just rebates and things like that. So I'd also want to know, because I think that's another issue to consider when we're talking about how much support do we want to keep lending to this program, and how much money do we want to keep funneling into it? But with that being said, so I'll just make a motion to approve for staff to transfer up to $550,000 to cover the structural deficit for the month of September 2021. Can I get a second?
Second.
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 Any objections? If not, staff, you have clear approval. And that is our urgent item. I did put a request in there. I know I've been not related to this, but we are constantly looking to create revenues. And I believe that at the last meeting, we talked about regaining our opportunities to advertise on our bus shelters and our buses. So I'd like to direct our staff to seek potential enhancements to increase advertisement revenues at our bus shelters and our buses. And I don't know if anybody has any concerns regarding that.
No, Mr. Mayor, but I do want to just chime in on the previous conversation when you're done with this part.
Okay, great. Well, great. So let's go back to the first one. Go ahead, Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, everyone. I was trying to log in on the other item. But again, as Councilmember Garcia mentioned, I'm not going to reiterate everything that she said. But when staff is looking at the benefits of this potential program, what does that look like? Not necessarily in the next 1 year or 2 years, but really what does that look like in the sense of 3 to 5, 10 years, right? Given that electricity rates are, increasing over time, what is the potential for those savings or those opportunities to provide back to our residents, the value added under this program or something similar to that. And that's, what I'm most interested is, if there's those rebates, or opportunities, homeowners and or multi-building owners a reduction in their electrical bills, whether that's through solar or whatever the case may be. This is not something that's going to be done overnight, but it is something that I do believe over the course of, if we were to look at where the rates are in regards to electricity from today versus the last 5 years, there has been a significant jump. In fact, that, I believe there was an increase last year through the California Public Utilities Commission, which allowed the increase to happen here in Southern California. And that is going to look more and more, as they look towards, creating the infrastructure and retaining the infrastructure that they have to do in Southern California. Those are all pass along rates that individuals such as us will certainly be paying for in the future. So just be, like the mayor said, is not only the rebates, but also, looking and forecasting out, what that could be for us. And I don't think, with all due respect to staff, I don't think we have anyone as an inside expert in and around utilities. So we can look at, a partner or someone to kind of, help us understand that. I think that would benefit us as a city and also our residents as they hear the conversation through the public, to really understand the landscape of, how the electricity landscape is played out and what is expected over the next couple of years. Similar to the water infrastructure and water rates, it's quite a complicated issue, and until we have the subject matter experts that could help us understand it better, that would certainly help us. So if we can just kind of think about that as we continue to move forward in these proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, just so that on Councilmember Hernandez's comments with regards to whether we have anybody on board helping us, we do have a company helping us with folks that had come out of the energy industry. But let me just say that it's a bit of a prelude to the October 6th meeting, but that's precisely what's at the crux of whether we in the city have the culture to be in the utility business. And I don't want to preempt any of the discussion, obviously, but it is a very volatile and very uncertain and very unpredictable in a brief chat with Councilmember Damian, he likened it to the mortgage industry or the mortgage market. I likened it as well to the stock market. And, you know, can we be in such a industry as a city without it being a full department, much like the LA's Department of Water and Power, Pasadena's Power Department? But that's for the October 6th. But, you know, it's a very volatile market. I don't know that we necessarily, anybody needs to be an expert to be able to see that. I mean, we'll show the graphs on how it's fluctuated just in the last 6 months. Incredible. And so there goes the point about what was predicted to be a revenue generating program has now become a deficit creating program. But you know, we'll definitely bring all the context to our discussion on October 6th.
Great, thank you, Enrique. So if nobody else has any more comments, we've passed the most important thing of today. I know Enrique is busy today, and I don't want to keep him in the car too long. And I know some of the other council members have some previous things to do as well. So we'll cut it short for tonight. Thank you, Enrique, and thank you for staff for working diligently on Be Proud. I know that it's a very big, you know, it's very important to the council and core staff to make sure that we stay on top of this and you know, mitigate whatever needs to get mitigated to make sure that we continue to be on track. And with that being said, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any objections? If not, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank
Good
you.
weekend.
Thank you.
Good
Have a
night.
nice day.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
After the closed session, we still need to contact this one to report it on the closed session.
It's okay. We're not, I believe Councilmember Damian also has something at 7. So we're just gonna, I don't want to hold anybody back today. So we'll circle back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.